acquisition was done in the past had come to haunt Suzlon. You think all of that is firmly a thing of the past and nothing like that could actually hamper how business environment shapes up for Suzlon or RE Power globally over the next 12 to 18 months or for the foreseeable future?
I think I can tell one thing is very clearly, worst part is over for the Suzlon, and the most of the positive sides are going because we have taken a very strong corrective actions so many areas, and it is giving a very unique position. Today we are within the wind industries, not just domestic market but globally, extremely well positioned our group is there, and that is giving a unique position. Let's take an example of the offshore market in European markets are growing 30 to 40%. We are well positioned on that market. Indian markets are doing good. We are market leaders. The Canada market and Australia market is quite profitable. So we are well positioned on those market, and German market is quite growing very efficiently. So all these market where we are positioning and our customers are also doing very good in that. So we are fortunate we have a good unique position in global market. Same time we have a low cost manufacturing base, India and China, and we are the lowest cost producer in the world. So that is giving a very good acceleration in there. And product and technology fronts, we are growing very strongly, efficiently, like 9X product in India and the 3XM product which is we have introduced in European market. It's giving a very good the benefit, and I strongly believe it's in the going forward the Suzlon will continue to do better and better.
Right, Mr. Tanti, two questions from my end, sir. One, of course, is that since the RE Power squeeze out has happened, is there a chance of the cash that you generated there, 135 million euros, will flow into Suzlon, and if yes, how much will that be used to repay debt? How much of that money will go into repaying the debt?
I think we have a overall the capital structure already. I have mentioned the total $600 million we are expecting in the next 6 months and generating more liquidity for that. At the same time, we have to understand the repower is in high growth is there. This year we are doing approximately 25% growth, and the next financial year is our minimum target is 40% growth for the current level is there. So for that also repower need a more liquidity and other thing growth point of view. So we are leveraging the overall group interest point of view rather than going this cash to this cash. But as a capital structure, and as you know, the balance sheet is the one is there. So we have to leverage in a interest of the overall capital structure planning.
Right, and sir, if you could throw some more color on these non-core assets that you're looking to sell. Are you close to actually monetizing the deals, let's say over the next 3 months, to be more precise? Because in this kind of a market environment, to actually go out and sell a business would not be the most comfortable situation. Also get the valuation that you're seeking, perhaps.
Yeah, non-core asset is mainly, as you know, the Suzlon has some wind farm investment. It's nearly 50 to 60 million dollar is there in India. I don't see the difficulty to sell those assets, and the current financial year we will liquidate that because it's a routine our day-to-day business part of the asset selling is there. So we are comfortable on that selling is there, and some of the small medium asset is there. All put together, it somewhere is $80 million we can able to generate, which is mostly the assets are in India, and it is quite sellable.
All right, Mr. Tanti, a final word really, and two-part question both on the equity side. One, looking at the kind of market scenario right now, I believe any kind of equity capital fundraising is out of the window. Do you foresee that Suzlon may need to do that, however depressed the market conditions are?
First of all, at least for 1 year, we are not targeting to raise any equity. Two reasons. First is I don't think the market is equipped and ready. And second thing is not a right valuation to the interest of the shareholders.
Right.
So we are not looking that option for at least for the one year. But in a future when the market will change and when our performance start delivering and other things, we strongly believe the stock will create a great value. And then appropriate time, if we can raise the equity, that is a good sense, because then market will be mature and value will be right.
Right.
Currently, I don't see that options.
And Mr. Tanti, one final word really. Any of the equity that you have pledged, I believe around 65% of the promoter equity is pledged, and possibly at a higher price because of the correction that has happened. Any necessity for funding the margins for which you may need money?
First of all, we have to understand whatever the pledge we have given is a secondary securities. More than 80% of our stock is a secondary securities is there. It's not linked to mark-to-market mechanisms, and there is no need of the margin and other thing is required is there. So we are quite comfortable is there, because the primary security is the Suzlon assets and the Suzlon inventory and receivables and other thing is there. It's just additional comfort to the bankers as a secondary security. So I think it's a misconception and misunderstanding in the market is there. So there is no need of any margin or any market call on this front. We are extremely comfortable on that front.
All right, Mr. Danti, all the best for the quarters ahead. Thanks so much for taking the time out and joining us on ET Now.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
That's the head honcho of Suzlon talking on a variety of issues, believing that the worst is over for Suzlon. All right, let's take a break on that note. We come back and take some stock recommendations from both Deepak Mohani and Sandeep Wagle on the other side.